Hey guys, I'm Jennifer Pearson. I'm the math teacher at the Fridley Area Learning Center, and I wanted to go over with you how to use Edgenuity this school year. If you've used it in the past, you're probably going to be familiar with this, but there are a couple changes and updates that I wanted to go over. So to start off with, when you are trying to get to Edgenuity, you're going to start by going to Clever. If you are using a district assigned device, then the Clever page will be your landing page when you open Chrome. Otherwise, if you're using a personal device, you can just go to clever.com. So whether you're using a district device or your personal device, clever.com is where you're going to start, and you can log in as a student and log in with Google. Now, as a student, when you do log in with Google, make sure you select your ISD 14 account. Usually that's 5 letters of your last name, your 5-digit person ID number, at isd14.org. I don't have that, but I have a demo student account. So if you log in, click on Edgenuity, it'll bring you to this page, which will show your Edgenuity tiles. On Clever, it'll look similar to this one right here. So find that Edgenuity button on your Clever page, and it'll bring you to your student page. So after you've logged on to Edgenuity, you should usually see 2, maybe 3 classes. Those are the only classes we're going to be working on. And in the past, you'd have your 6-period day where you'd probably be working on 6 different classes. We're going to have you just focus on 2 classes at a time so you can finish those as quickly as possible rather than sticking to a quarter or a semester. We're going to do 2 classes at a time as quickly as we can. And so for this demo account, I have a geometry class and an English class. To enter into a class, click anywhere in the course tile. Don't click that next activity button. That's going to put you into an activity which usually isn't the activity you want to be doing. So if you click on the tile, it brings us to the course map, which we can see all the different activities rather than putting us straight into what might be the next activity. So the course map is laid out with units and then lessons and then activities. So in this first unit, the first lesson is Euclidean geometry, and the first activity is actually this quiz, which serves as the pretest. Most Edgenuity courses are going to be set up with pretesting. So this activity is locked, and we're going to start here on this quiz. Now, if you take this quiz and you pass this quiz, you actually get to go on to the next lesson and take that pre-quiz. And if you pass that quiz, again, you go on to the next lesson. And so you're kind of demonstrating that you already know all the stuff that would be included in these lessons. And rather than making you sit through more instruction or more assignments on that, we're going to let you test out and move on to the next thing. If you don't pass that pretest, then it's going to unlock these assignments and require you to complete that instruction or that assignment, or depending on the course, there could be an essay, there could be a lab, there could be projects. But if you don't pass that pretest, then you have to go back and do the stuff above it. Then you're going to attempt that quiz again. If you don't pass the quiz the second time, you're going to be required to contact your teacher. If you're a hybrid student, that means you can talk to us live and in person. If you are a hybrid student or a distance student, and a hybrid student where you're on your distance day, like if you're at home, you can feel free to email whatever teacher you need to talk about that assessment. So some of the ways to get a quiz unlocked could be doing test corrections or some reinstruction, or just having a conversation about some of the stuff you've learned. Maybe your teacher would instruct you to go back and rewatch some of the instruction videos. It's really going to depend on the situation. So if you pass the quiz the first time, you get to skip the lesson. If you fail the quiz the first time, go back and redo the instruction. If you fail the quiz the second time, contact your teacher. Now, while you're waiting for your teacher, you can still go on and do the next lesson. You don't have to wait, you don't have to stop, and you can keep moving forward while you're waiting for your teacher to get back to you. So you're never stuck. You keep going, you keep going. If you need to contact a teacher, go ahead and do so, but still keep working and moving forward until that teacher gets back to you. And then when you get down to the end of a unit, there's also going to be a test, and you definitely have to contact your teacher to get the test unlocked. So again, if you're live and in person, just ask us. If you are at home or a distant student, then go ahead and email the teacher for that course. For a lot of these, you can see these dates on here. These dates are going to be dependent on when you start the course, but they're not necessarily due dates. So it's just a suggested pace. So you can work faster, you can work slower. There's no penalty for going a little slower, but you want to try to stick as close to those dates as you can, or even work faster than those dates. Because you're only doing 2 classes at a time rather than 6 classes in a standard schedule, it's up to you to try to go as quickly as you can go through these. So these are just suggested dates. They're not the required dates. You can go faster, you can go slower, and we can even modify those dates if they're kind of throwing you off a little bit. Your teacher can always adjust the pacing of your course. We do want you to spend about 2 hours a day in each course, again, because you only have 2, sometimes 3 courses. Try to spend at least 2 hours active in a course each school day to try to finish this course at a good pace. The next thing is, when am I done with a course? So you don't have to do 100% of the course. It's going to depend student by student. But this third tab right here is what's called your progress dashboard. And if you click on that, it's going to show you your current grade. So based on your situation, how much credit you're trying to earn, if you're only trying to get a partial credit, maybe you started this course last year at summer school and you already did some of it, you don't need to do all of it. Or if you're trying to finish the entire course because you're starting it from scratch, there is a handout that you should have received or you can access online, which shows you what grade you need to earn to get to whatever credit you need to earn. So most students are going to be right here. If your goal is to finish a whole course, that's 0.5 credit, then the relative grade that you're shooting for is a minimum of 60%. So on your Edgenuity screen, as soon as this hits 60%, you know that you are done with this course. You don't have to do more, you are done. But you can choose to do more. If you choose to keep going to reach 70%, then you can earn a letter grade on top of your credit. So earning just 60%, you get the credit, but you don't get a grade. If you keep going to 70% or 80% or 90%, that's how you earn these potential letter grades. So you might ask, why do I care about my grade? If your goal is to get credit, get your diploma, and be done, you don't necessarily need that letter grade. But if you have a personal goal of achieving a certain GPA, or if you are trying to go to college or interested in scholarships, then going above that minimum of 60% is probably going to be important to you. Now, the other situation would be if you're trying to earn partial credit. Maybe you did half of the class last year, so you don't need to do the whole class again this time. You only need to get to 30% to get to that 0.25 credit. And that situation should have been communicated to you by either your teacher or Miss Nicole, who kind of does the schedules, or Miss Jenny, who kind of does our distance learning advising. So that if that applies to you, you should know that. Most students are going to be in this trying to get to 60%. So again, as soon as your relative grade hits that percentage, you are done. We're not going to stop you though. You have to contact us to tell us when you get to that number. And that is because we don't want to assume you want to stop. We're going to assume you kind of want to keep going to get to that higher grade. But if you want to be done, let us know. We will post the credit for that course and get you started on the next course. If you want to keep going. And as soon as you reach what you want, like let's say your goal is a B, once you reach 80, again, let us know. We'll post that grade of a B for you and then get you started on another class. There are a lot of other features on Edgenuity. For example, we have the attendance log. So this is going to show you, if you click on your name and then click on profile, this is going to show you how often you log on and how many minutes you're in each course. So, I mean, this is just my demo account, so it doesn't really show you much, but maybe if I switch to summer school, I have a little bit more stuff in here. I'm trying to get some info in here. So right here you can see how I was active for 16 seconds in this summer school course, or I was active for 18 seconds in this summer school course. But it is going to break it up by course, so I can see that I was active for maybe an hour in my math class, and then maybe I was inactive for maybe an hour and a half in my English class. So that's just a good way to make sure that you're keeping yourself accountable. Teachers can view this information too, so we can say, ooh, we saw you weren't logged in for very long today. Maybe tomorrow try to stay logged on longer to make up for it. There's other things that might be helpful on here if you are in need of maybe some language assistance. I don't think I have it turned on, but up here there's a button where you can switch to languages. Everybody is set to default as English, but I think there's over 30 different languages that Edgenuity has in its system. So if you needed Spanish or you needed Arabic, there's an option to switch the language up here. And within instruction too, there's a way that it'll read things to you. There's a little headphone button. I think because everything's locked, I'd have to go through a quiz to unlock an instruction. But if you need any help with any of those other features, you can always ask me or ask whatever classroom teacher you are for science, English, social studies, any of your subject areas. That is my quick overview of what you might need to know for Edgenuity for this year. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask me, ask Jenny, ask Nicole, ask Donna, ask Adam, ask any of your subject area teachers, and good luck this year. Thank you.